We're not just any school, we're a boarding school, and we're focused on the holistic education of the child, which means that we're looking fundamentally for people who are willing to share their lives with children and who are willing to be great mentors for kids in all aspects of our lives, right? Because not only are our teachers in the classroom, our teachers are in the dorms, or they're in clubs, they're in co-curricular activities, they're in athletics, they're advisors, they're supervising kids on the weekends, they're helping kids out in the evenings. And so we have to have people who are really willing to open up and share their lives with kids and be mentors and guides for children all the time.
There are so many different hats that you're wearing here as an educator that constantly allow you to explore different parts of yourself as an educator with the students.
As a teacher and a residential faculty member, which means I live here on campus, the students during my free time will have athletics or co-curriculars, sometimes tutoring depending on what they're up to. And then one night a week I have duty which means I'm in study hall with the students.
It's one thing to be a teacher, but the mentoring really comes outside of the classroom. And here at Manara, there are so many opportunities. I mean, 24/7. You know, I am working in the sailing and rowing team, which is really extraordinary and really fun.
I feel like in the dorm, I have a chance to really, it's kind of more of an informal setting, and so you get to know whatever the students are facing in a different area of their life and support them in that way. And so that's very meaningful, and I feel like you really strengthen the relationships there.
What drew me to Manara was the mission. You know, anybody can write a great mission statement, but when it came to visit, I saw the mission being fulfilled. I was absolutely blown away by basically every interaction I saw between teachers and students, staff and students. It was so intentional and authentic, and everybody was so engaged. They were really living out the mission. It was really extraordinary. And so I just saw that. I was totally blown away, and I wanted to be a part of it.
I think for me, I came in with, as a woman, as an idea of what capacity, what role would I have, and I was just so surprised. I think stereotypes are like, wow, going to maybe more of a conservative country than the United States. I was amazingly surprised that not only are my gifts and talents and experience welcomed here, they're well utilized, and I feel like I'm thriving and I'm actually learning and growing more than I think I ever would anywhere else that I've been globally.
What really sold the place, actually, the deep sense of community here, something that we cannot put into words. It excites me, it helps me engage with students, and it keeps us all going. So part of it is building the deeper connections and staying with the community.
At first, I really didn't know very much about Egypt. The fact that we were moving to the Red Sea, that we'd be in an environment that was actually quite familiar to us because we're originally from California. We're used to being at the beach in sunshine and, you know, near water. And we've been in Switzerland for the past 5 years, so kind of stuck up in the mountains, which is nothing to complain about. Yeah. But coming here was just a kind of a sweet kiss for us to almost feel like we're coming home.
So for us, we had to really think about moving from our home country to a foreign country and what that would look like for our children. So this included schooling and childcare, what the rhythm of life at this boarding school in particular, because each school is different, and whether it would work for our family. So this was actually the biggest deciding factor for us on whether to come to Manara or not. And I would say what made it worth it is that we took the time to ask the right questions about what does the schedule look like here and how this would fit into our role as parents and as a family. The feedback we received for our questions were what we wanted to hear, which is there is room for flexibility. The reality is that families exist, and that's a good thing. Manara will work with you to make sure that you are not sacrificing your family life for working here.
Well, because it's a boarding school, it's a 24-hour job in a sense, but the sense of the way things are divvied out as far as roles and responsibility, there's a great effort to create a balance. And so we have found it to be quite rigorous and busy and full of life, but at the same time, there's plenty of time for us here to rest, to have time off, and to really take care of ourselves and have kind of a wellness aspect.
So our lifestyle centers around our 2 children that we have, and I feel like Guna is actually a very family-friendly place. Our daughter gets out around 3:15, our son gets out at 4 o'clock, and either my wife or I will alternate with the pickup based on our schedules. And that's one thing that we've loved about living here, is that it's very flexible. We have plenty of time to spend as a family together, and duties might come in the morning or the afternoon, but we're always able to alternate so that we have our kids taken care of, which gives us a lot of peace of mind. So we're able to hopefully perform well as parents and as teachers.
I think Manara is a very pet-friendly place. So the process of getting him here was a little bit challenging, but I cheated and I hired a pet relocation company. And so they took care of all the paperwork. They got him his visas. I just had to take him to the vet and make sure his shots were up to date. And then they collected him in New York and took him to JFK, and we're on the plane with him. He moved here with me in August of last year, and he thinks of the students as his big brothers and sisters.
I feel like some places are too serious, and I love how Manara and Guna it's still very rigorous, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. So I enjoy that.
I would say Manara's community and culture really is like a very big family. Even though we have expanded this year, our students become our children. As teachers, as dorm parents, we really experience life together.
For the community feel that we foster here, we have different rhythms. We have daily community gatherings, like morning meetings, like meals. We eat together almost every day. And this is seeing each other almost on a daily basis. This goes a long way in building a community. And we are very intentional about this rhythms and structures that we have. Another thing is weekly rhythms. We have school assembly. The whole community gathers for an hour every week. We also have community days once a semester, and the main purpose of community days is we really bring everyone together out of their jobs to do something that benefits the school.
And we also have things like travel program, which gives faculty not only the opportunity, but the obligation to go off campus with students and sort of learn alongside them about Egypt and about its culture and its history.
Unlike Cairo, Guna is a lot more laid back. It's a lot slower, and that enables one to have a better life quality. It is also extremely diverse. The location also helps being by a body of water. It is also calmer. It is calmer in traffic. It is calmer in all the pollution. It is calmer in all these different aspects. The amenities here, if anything breaks down at any given moment, there's someone who will help right away, and that is within the community.
I mean, we've never lived by the sea before, so living in Guna near the sea is such a huge advantage and kind of lends itself just naturally to activities and things to do, whether you're on your own or with a family. So for us, in our family, we go to the beach every weekend. It's a tradition. Every Friday evening, we go to the beach. Our kids look forward to it, and this is not something we've been able to do before. So it's very exciting. It's a very new thing for us. Definitely an advantage.
I love the outdoors. You know, the Red Sea is just an amazing resource. I'm really looking forward to starting some of the hiking with Mr. Mustafa in our outdoor program. So I'm going to be a part of that. Yeah, just a really rich cultural experience here.
I like to run, and so I found a golf course nearby. I feel like it's my private golf course that I get to run on. Obviously, we've been able to discover some great places here in Guna, all kinds of restaurants and just places that are really easy to get to.
We also have informal ways of coming together as a community. For example, every other Wednesday, we gather in what we call Diwan. Diwan is really a space for educators from Manara to come together and work on kind of refining their skill as an educator, refining their understanding of what education is and how to be a better educator. And we do that through shared reading and discussion.
We have an academic calendar that is really amenable to short trips from El Guna to other places in Egypt. Last weekend or the weekend before, recently we had a number of faculty who all went to Cairo, and they sort of grouped together and they shared a ride, and some of them were staying in the same hotel, and they all went to the pyramids, and so this is the sort of thing that we encourage.
One thing that makes us unique as a school is that we're a startup. And we've been running for a couple years. We have a lot of growth in front of us. And so while we have a vision, we have a framework for our curriculum, we know where we're going, we know what's important to us, we know the pedagogies we believe in, we have our mission, we're still building the nitty-gritty of every course. And we rely on our teachers as experts in their field and as experts with kids to help us figure out the best way to apply our curricular vision to our particular students. And so we're looking for entrepreneurial, flexible, creative teachers to come on board and help us with this.